James Bond. James Bond.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I drink your milkshake.
You can't handle the truth. You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mafia podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Trout, joined here again today by Lauren, Max, Gabby, and Carter is back again, no longer the special guest. He is now a permanent member of the Movie Mafia podcast. Everybody, welcome Carter. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Good to be back.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought
male. Very scary.
Oh, geez. Wow. Dang.
Well, you know, with that being said, we welcome Carter, the Cancer zodiac sign, to
You're
our
a
Movie
Pisces
Mafia
male.
podcast.
You're not
That
any
is true.
better.
What's wrong with being a Pisces? I don't think a Pisces is that
Oh,
bad.
I'm a Pisces, but Pisces male.
Cancer.
I don't know. I like being a Pisces. I'll take being a Pisces any day.
Oh, I'm a Pisces too, but Pisces men scare me, so.
Well, I will do everything I can to
cowering in
reverse that
fear.
stereotype.
Anyway, let's transition into movies, guys, because we're the movie mafia, not the Zodiac mafia.
We're the Zodiac
Absolutely.
Killer.
Oh,
Speaking of
jeez.
killers, Dexter.
Yeah.
You know what? You're
Perfect segue.
absolutely right, Lauren, and we should definitely jump into that right now.
I'm
So,
the queen of transitions.
A+ job. So, as you said, Dexter, we got another little teaser. You know, we had a super small, like 5-second little teaser, the other week, and now we have a little bit bigger, kind of like a 30-second or so teaser now. Dexter's ramping up, and I couldn't be more excited about it. You know, what did you think of this little snippet we got?
So we actually get to see Dexter's face, or the actor in this trailer, in comparison to just the axe. And he looks like he's having the time of his life. He's got this childlike grin on his face, and it's winter. You can see the snow out, probably Christmas. He's probably going to kill someone, or he did kill someone as his Christmas present. That's the vibe I got. How about you?
Yeah, I totally, I just like, I'm such a massive Dexter fan, as you guys know. So every time I see Michael C. Hall on screen, I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I
Fangirl.
love him. He's an amazing actor, and I love him as Dexter. I love the whole show. I'm just more excited to see more of Dexter. I don't even care if it's good, it's bad, whatever. I just want more.
The standards are low. You just want it.
There aren't any standards. There's literally zero. I just want more Dexter. All right. I don't. As long as Michael C. Hall's in it and the show is called Dexter, I'm happy. That's literally
So
all I
how long
want.
will the next teaser be? A whole minute?
That's what it seems like. We got like 5 seconds now, 30 seconds. I'm hoping a minute, maybe 2,
You just
and that'll lead us into
doubling
an actual
the time.
show.
Yeah. You'll just get like the whole show is broken into 1-minute sections. Exciting.
Yeah, we saw at the end of season 8 of Dexter, he had that last shot of Dexter was him with a full beard in like a log cabin out in like a the woods kind of area. Now we see Dexter again, and in this little teaser, he has no beard. He's returned to normal Dexter, where he's full, clean shaven. And I think that's the showrunners trying to tell us that like he's back to what he was. He's back to being a killer. He's back. He's here, and we're gonna see the Dexter that we know and love. So that was my impression of it. We talked a little bit earlier, Lauren, you and I, about his kind of wink and smile and how it seemed a little different than what we were normally expecting from Dexter. He's kind of like emotionless, cold, and calculated. Doesn't really show too much expressions on his face. But I really think that his kind of smile there was just probably trying to, tease the audience a little bit with like Dexter's coming back and everyone's super hyped and super psyched about it. So yeah, and I'm right there on board with that. Oh, so yeah, Dexter, season 9,
Dexter?
I think.
Hardly know.
I hate when you make these jokes, Lauren.
They're terrible. Yeah,
They're the
not good.
worst. Oh my God.
Yeah. But hey, we love Dexter and we're excited and we cannot wait to get a full 1-minute teaser. So
That's true. And along with, as we're just as anticipated as we are for Dexter, I know Max and Carter, you guys are just as hyped for Star Wars: The Bad Batch. So, take it away.
Carter, you go first.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean, tomorrow, obviously, May 4th, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you everywhere. It's so the Bad Batch basically. It's a spin-off of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which just had its final season last year. It's looking like it's picking up directly after the Clone Wars, so it's just kind of about this like ragtag, like dysfunctional group of clones. There's 5 of them that now like after the Clone Wars, they don't really have a purpose as soldiers, so they need to like find their way in the galaxy. I think it's been confirmed to have 16 episodes, so double the length of both seasons of The Mandalorian. Looks like it's going to be running for a pretty long time. I think it's going to be really good. High expectations. Should call it the Good Batch.
Yeah, and these characters were introduced the last season of the Clone Wars in the first 4 episodes as new characters. So I'm really pumped. I've loved all the trailers we're getting. I forgot her name, but one of the characters from The Mandalorian is in the show.
Fennec.
Yeah, Fennec's in animated form, which should be really exciting with the same actress voicing her. And I'm excited to see just clones again. I thought that was I love I love Clone Wars, one of my favorite Star Wars properties out there that they've done. And I love the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars. So the fact that we're going back into this form of animation, and especially with Echo being a part of the group now, and possibly seeing Rex this season, and seeing other famous clones that we saw for the past 10 years on Clone Wars, I think it's super exciting.
Yeah, definitely. It's looking really good. Yeah, definitely just from the trailers, it seems like just amazing. I'm really excited. There's also Omega, which is like a new character who might be like a girl clone, which is honestly really interesting just in Star Wars in general, like that's even possible. So
yeah,
hopefully a lot of reveals tomorrow.
Yeah, and Palpatine's on the poster, so hopefully we get to see him a lot this season as well. There's a lot of interesting tie-ins to how they make it out of Order 66 and how they transition into the original trilogy. It's great to have new Star Wars, since it feels like The Mandalorian finished up so long ago. So I'm excited that we're finally getting new Star Wars content.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I totally am right there with you. I think like the Star Wars universe is something that I've been so passionate about. I remember ever since I was a kid, my dad brought me up on watching Star Wars movies, and it feels like from then till now, there's been this steady stream of either movies or TV shows or something, in some form or fashion. I'm nonstop getting Star Wars content, and between the Bad Batch now and probably since The Mandalorian, it feels like we really haven't gotten too much Star Wars content. I know a lot of that has to do with the pandemic, but also I think I'm definitely a little starved for some Star Wars content. It's a great universe, and I can't wait to see more of it.
And I do want to say too, I recommend watching Clone Wars first, so you're kind of used to the environment and the animation. I know it's a lot of seasons and a lot of time, but it's really, really good stuff. Especially the last. If you just don't want to spend that too much time, definitely watch the first 4 episodes of the last season, just to get yourself understanding of the characters. That will
definitely, yeah.
For sure. Outside of Dexter and the Bad Batch, we have our biggest finale, a review, I should say, series review thus far, and we gotta talk about it. Invincible, Max, Lauren. I know the 3 of us have been the Invincible fan crew of the Movie Mafia podcast.
We've reached our season.
Absolutely.
Everyone was talking about it on Friday, which is great.
And I know my boy Carter over here is so excited to get a chance to watch Invincible, and we are gonna ruin his day because we're gonna have to spoil it. I'm sorry, Carter. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this to you.
We'll give you a thumbs up when we're done spoiling if you want.
Yeah, just close your ears, take your headphones off. We're gonna
No, it's fine.
Like tissues in there.
We have to talk about this episode.
I mean, this show has been one of the best shows I've seen in a long time.
Is the worst.
Now I want to come in here and say that I teared up twice during this episode.
Oh.
Okay.
When was the first time?
I teared up in the flashback scene. Really hit me hard because used to be a little league player, and I used to see those little things too. And then I really teared up when like Omni-Man was like, after 500 years, like, who you gonna have? And he's like, I'm gonna have you, Dad. That really hit me hard. when Mark said that. It was a really emotional line, and it was pretty brutal. The train sequence, I could not believe what was happening in the train sequence.
You know,
Bro, that was brutal. Omni-Man holding Mark's head in front of an oncoming train, and it's
Yep.
just you just see bodily fluids, just people like breaking apart, and Mark's just taking it head on, just getting smashed with all these
Yep.
dead bodies and people just dying, and it's all like it's all like his fault because his dad's punishing him for like having moral compass and being human. Bro,
Yeah.
brutal.
Brutal.
yeah, one thing that really stuck out to me, or one little side note I should say, was,
Mhm.
Omni-Man talked about how if you're Viltrumite and you have that Viltrum DNA, you
Yeah.
live longer inherently. And that's something that they didn't explore at all or talk about at all until this final episode here. So I
Yeah.
thought that it was interesting to me because he said you're almost a pure Viltrum in your bloodline.
So is
So
he
what?
not
So
gonna live as long?
exactly. So does if Mark is going to live for thousands of years, how
Yeah.
long is Omni-Man going to live for, or how long has he lived for?
He's
This
been
is
living
something
for
I'd want to know. I
thousands.
want to know what the difference is between their DNA and how that will affect their age.
Yeah, and I also want to step in here too for a character that I think I've been talking about every week, and that is Debbie has been one of my favorite
Oh,
characters in the entire show,
Debbie.
and I felt
Shout out.
so bad for her this entire episode when he was like, she's more like a pet to me. I was like, oh God, why would you say
Yeah.
that? And then he's like, well, her life doesn't really mean anything. I was like, oh my God, because she's listening to all of this, and you can feel her betrayal, like marrying this guy for the last 20 years, having a kid with him, and then everything in her life just crumbling around her. I felt awful for Debbie this episode.
Bro, it was so bad because it's like he was like, yeah, like your whole life, Mark, was like a speck in my whole life. So
Yeah.
like Mark's entire life is like nothing in like his dad's eyes.
Mhm.
And it's like obviously it's not clearly nothing because like he did like dad didn't kill Mark, but he like beat the living shit out of him and like just like
Yeah.
broke Debbie's heart, doesn't care, and like it's just insane. Like and the fact that he lives so long and is such an evil villain and all this stuff, like Mark's whole world crashed, Debbie's whole world crashed. Even the guy that makes the superhero outfits, his life
Dark.
completely changed.
Yeah. And it also sets up just an amazing next couple of seasons because we're now going to get Viltrumites versus the Earth heroes and villains either next season or the season after. But I mean, it was really emotional. I like that Mark still has his group of friends now, even though he'll probably outlive all of them. I still think he needs those, And I also think Debbie, going back to Debbie, her staying strong for Mark, like the fact that she's always there for him, and then when she's alone, she starts, crying. I think that's a really authentic mom in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so sad when he sees her and he just like closes the door. Like I was kind of like, oh, you can go, comfort your mom. Like you don't have to.
Mm-hmm. It was just very authentic. It feels like it's like, and I think we talk about Man of Steel sometimes when we talk about DC. It was very similar to Man of Steel. The fight, the fight between Omni-Man and Mark, which happens, in the city. But in Man of Steel, they never talk about the people that die, and a lot of people get killed. A lot, like thousands of people get killed in this episode. Like it was really insane, but authentic. Like when he was holding the building and he's holding the arm, and
Oh
then
my God.
her arm, and then he goes to the ground and the arm's detached. I was like, oh my God, he didn't save the kid. He didn't save his mom. I was like, it's very real because superheroes are very glossed over with but real stuff happens, and I like that they had a lot of casualties this episode.
Oh, he likes the casualties. I
do.
thought,
It makes
I
sense.
think the whole benefit of it being like an animation and not live action is that you can just animate a bunch of blood and it's like completely different versus like live actioning that. And in the animation, they're able to like really like actually give more attention to the lives being lost versus in live action, you never like imagine a superhero just holding up a disembodied arm and then being like, oh well, okay.
Or the train sequence. That cannot
Like,
happen
you
live
could
action.
never do that live action. Or even if you could CGI it, they would never make it.
Yeah, and the mountain too, with the whole mountain crumbling down and Mark I mean, I couldn't
Beating
believe the
Mark
first
to hope.
Yeah, I could not believe the first 30 minutes was just the fight. It was so great.
Yeah, all my
You're
life.
sitting there with your popcorn, like, yes, yes, come
Yes,
on,
yes, yes.
more.
All my
You're like, I
life.
need more casualty.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's what I think about every single time I watch Invincible. But
Oh,
all my life, when someone has described a superhero film or anything superhero related and the train sequence, it's always been Spider-Man 2. And
this is
now,
it.
I don't know, man. When you say the train sequence, it's Omni-Man
it.
holding his son by the head and just killing hundreds of thousands of people on this train. It is just a slaughter. It is absolutely
It is
slaughter.
I also want to add one of my favorite animated styles of the episode, even though it was so well animated, was that they kept when Immortal, thumbed Omni-Man in the eye last week, and he kept his eyes were still, not regularly or dead shot. It was such a little thing that they did to make him seem more villainous, but it made sense logistically because he got thumbed in the eye last week. I thought that was a little thing that I loved about the look of Omni-Man this episode.
So when do we get season 2?
They haven't announced when, but they announced they got 2 and 3 confirmed.
That's good.
Pretty good for a show to get 2 seasons given to you. That means the show's doing pretty well.
I mean, it must have been fire.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know how
Also-
much you guys know about Invincible, but I did want to tie in that, this was a comic book adapted into a TV show for anyone who doesn't know that. And I'm looking it up now, but I know that the comic has, I think, at least 3 or 4 like whole volumes to it.
A lot more than that.
Or is more than that? Let me look it
The
up.
comic was going for the last 15 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called compendiums. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot. Yeah, I can't go into all of them right now, but they have a lot.
They set up a lot because they kept all the villains are back next season. What will Mark react to when the DA Sinclair guy is actually working for Cecil? What is his reaction to that? And also I like the Guardians of the Globe actually being a team. Like that, them actually seeming like an actual team.
That was
felt
nice.
seeing them work
They
together.
were kind of pathetic though. It was like
Well, yeah.
the original Guardians of the Globe. If they saw Mark getting destroyed by Omni-Man, they would have no hesitation at all. They would have went right there to help Mark, and probably would have died anyway. But they would have helped.
Yeah.
And this Guardians of the Globe is like, yo, should we help? And they're like, nah, Mark's got that. Like Cecil's like, hey, don't. And then they're just like, yeah, we should listen to that. As they just sit there, watching as Omni-Man brutally destroys Mark.
But I do think, like they're not as powerful or not as maybe as brave and like the stereotypical hero as the Last Guardians. But it is smart to be like, no, like logically we can't take him on. Like they know they can't do it. So like, what's the point of them dying? They want to help people. Them going to just help the wreckage of the Omni-Man thing and actually saving people's lives was definitely much better decision than trying to even
I completely agree, but there is something slightly less heroic, at least in the comic book
they're not the
sense of like
stereotypical heroic heroism or whatever.
Which I like.
They're doing the logical thing.
And I want to ask you, Jacob.
That's an Aquarius move.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Jacob, because we talked about Amber the past couple weeks. Do you like that she is back with Mark?
Honestly, I know I am 100% certain that Mark is going to end up with Adam Eve. There's no doubt in my mind. But I don't think it's ready yet. I think Adam Eve needs more time, and I think Mark needs more time. So I don't necessarily like the combination of them together, right now. But I do think that this relationship is just going to build him into when he's going to be able to date Adam Eve. So like, I don't mind the relationship, but I don't think it's I don't think it's perfect for Mark, honestly. Like I don't think for either of them. I don't think they. Yeah.
He's flexing his boyfriend gene for the first time and learning him to do all the things. So I'm fine with it. And then I do really like Adam Eve, so that'll be fun later on. And like, I don't know, it would be boring if it was just with Amber.
I like that Amber and William did not know who Adam Eve was when she revealed to them in the diner. I thought that was hilarious. They had no idea who she was.
It just shows how bad Mark is at being a superhero.
Well, it also shows how bad, like, just how many different superhero teams there were. Because, that team, the original team before they became the Guardians were basically like the Teen Titans of the Justice League, basically, technically, if you look at it from that perspective. So they're not
kids.
Yeah, so no one really looks at them as famous superheroes. So I thought it was funny because we've seen Adam Eve, and Mark knew who she was right away, but no, it's funny that most of the general public doesn't know who she is, which is really interesting.
Because she's like a Clark Kent disguise. There is no disguise. Her whole head is just, you can see it on camera.
Yeah.
But I like how she said earlier, it's like, it's psychology. No one expects to see a superhero at high school.
Yeah. And the Seth Rogen stuff at the end was also very good. The Alan the alien character I really like, and I'm excited because it really sets up Mark to be the next. He's the leader of the Earth, heroes, clearly, because he's the only person who is a part of the Viltrumite, society who is fighting against them. So that's a huge advantage that Earth has, and hopefully, I'm nervous because I can't wait to see that. I'm nervous for the next time Omni-Man meets up with Mark. Like I can't imagine what that meeting is going to be like.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Part of me knows that like I'm really excited for it, but at the same time, I love my boy Mark. I don't want to see him get destroyed out here. I don't want to see Omni-Man beat his ass again.
Oh. I think he's going to get stronger. I really think they're building to him.
I hope so.
Having this season, really, he got his ass kicked the entire season. Like each episode, I think they're trying to build him up. Like he just started being a superhero when you think about it, like literally months into being a superhero. And he had to take on Omni-Man, who's been doing it for thousands and thousands of years. So it made sense he got his ass kicked.
He's half human and half Vulture, whatever they're called. Like, does that mean, like, scientifically he can never be as strong as Omni-Man? Is there any benefit to being human? Is being human just a hindrance?
I think it's going to help. I think that's the point. I think the fact that he has both in him is supposed to be what's going to take him over the lip.
I feel like he has, like, the physical abilities of the Viltrumite people, but maybe he has, like, the mental capacity of a human, like more empathy, sympathy, like not as bad anger issues, maybe. Maybe he'll go to therapy.
That was a dark history too of the Viltrumite, like the true history.
They just all killed each other.
It was like survival of the fittest, and then people were just told to take over, and they just destroyed planets for.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it just like an economic thing? They're like, we'll just control more planets.
Yeah, that's what I think. Territorial. Basically.
Yeah. It's a little power hungry. I don't really like. They're such an advanced society. They should get some better plans.
Yeah. Well, as much as I would love to talk all day about Invincible, I feel so bad for my boy Carter over here, so we have to stop the Invincible talk. We have to stop the spoiler talk. I feel like I've ruined the whole experience of the show for him.
No, you're good. I've been like mentally blocking out everything. I don't know any of the characters by name, so like everything you're just saying is like going in one ear and out the other.
You just need to
totally
do a Men in Black where they just memory erase you. That's what you need, right? Yeah, absolutely. But
well, hold on. I have a good transition. Speaking of like super villains, because like while he's like a hero, he's also kind of a villain, is what I've gathered. I probably could be completely wrong, but anyway.
Man is bad.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much what I've gathered. So anyway, super villains. Well, the Cruella, the live action Cruella for Disney Plus, the trailer dropped, and we kind of got like the origin story of Cruella. And like I know, like I kind of compared it to like Birds of Prey and kind of like the Joker, that they make these villains like have an origin story. We can kind of see how they grew up, and we feel bad for them. So that way, like they're kind of like humanizing these villains. So I know that's like a big thing. But I'm looking forward to it. The trailer made the show look so good. But like I said, we kind of get the origin story of Cruella, and we're gonna kind of see like why she's so mean to these poor, beautiful Dalmatians.
For sure. And for anyone who doesn't know, Cruella is obviously the character from the 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, she's the villain. A very good Disney princess or Disney movie has the villain. And then also with Disney Plus, High School Musical, the musical 2. No, the series 2. It drops May 14th, and then they're dropping an episode every Friday. So I'll be talking about each episode every week. So we have that to look forward to too, which I'm so excited about because the show is so good. Yeah, wait, the show is High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 2. So it's a long title, but I'm really
why would they? That's oh my gosh. I can't believe that's an actual thing. That's just so.
It's
so
a
much.
lot. So it's like a version of High School Musical, but they're doing it as a musical. Like that's like they're putting it on as a musical, but it's not a movie. It's a series. So yeah, but it's
Thank
not.
God for Disney Plus.
It's a lot, but I'm so excited. The season 1 was so good, and I'm really, really excited for season 2.
And when did you say that's coming out?
May 14th.
May 14th, and then Cruella is coming out on May 28th. So definitely some good stuff to on Disney Plus as we go throughout this month.
So you guys talk about the superheroes. I'll talk about all things Disney because I love Disney.
Absolutely, we wouldn't have it any other way on the podcast.
Everyone here is like superheroes, nerd movies. I'm like my Disney princesses and like Cinderella's coming out in July, and we have a good mix, I think.
True. I think you totally hit the nail on the head. I completely agree with you. And,
thank you. I know my role. I gotcha.
Absolutely. And you talked a little bit about how much nerds we are and how much we love superheroes. And I gotta be honest, you're absolutely right. And our superhero discussion never ends on this podcast. And with that being said, we got to talk about the MCU little trailer, little timeline we got announced to us. So I'll put it up on screen for everyone who's interested. But we got a little bit of this MCU trailer where it kind of showed some of the different little snippets of the films that we're going to see. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
it was the past films first, then it showed the Endgame experience, and then it was basically a setup saying, go back to movie theaters for these films, which I think they're releasing like 10 movies in the next year, which is insane.
Yeah, for sure. So the stuff that they officially announced were just recently, were that we have the official release dates for Black Panther 2, which is going to be called Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And we got for these couple films, we also got the little titles, and we can see exactly, a little bit of what the movie might be about based off of the aesthetic for the title. But yeah, so we got Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Yeah. That's going to come out July 8th, 2022. So about a year from now, a year and a couple months from now, over next summer, which, feels like it's not going to be for a while, but honestly, I do think that this film needs a little bit of time as it kind of readjusts itself. Since I think a lot of it's been changed.
There's 4 MCU movies coming out this year. Mm-hmm. That is a lot for a 6-month span. So once July starts, the MCU, and really June too, because Loki's in June, Black Widow's in July.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane that this list, which we've already known about. Just the titles we didn't know about. I think that the list is insane. It feels like every other month we have a new MCU movie.
Yeah, and then with the Disney Plus series too, it's just so much content. It's seriously insane. It's a great year.
Absolutely. And I have to mention a little bit of our chat right now, because everyone in our chat is criticizing Gabby for calling them nerd movies. Yulia said, "Nerd movies, how dare you?" So they are not. The movie mafia chat is not happy with you, Gabby. They're not nerd movies, Gabby.
Avengers Endgame made over $1 billion. That many people are not.
Yeah.
I think you're a nerd for being on the podcast.
All right, you're right. I'm like low-key secretly one of the nerds. So
we're going to make you watch Invincible. We're going to make you watch everything.
No, you guys got me to watch Marvel movies. I think that's as far as we're getting.
What's wrong with Invincible? We love cartoons.
It's not my cup of tea. I wouldn't like you would have to force me to watch it. I wouldn't put it on for fun. Those are not my... Wow. I like rom-coms. I like Disney movies. It's
basically a rom-com. You'll love it.
No, it's not.
No, it is.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, the Amber Mark relationship is obviously a rom-com. Obviously.
Oh, man. Gabby, your comments cut deep, like a knife to the heart.
I thought I don't want to come here and say that it was not. I'm happy they did this. I'm happy we got no footage of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised they didn't, because it is coming out in December. I'm happy they don't, because everyone already knows the cast. Everyone already knows it's a multiverse. I think we just need some more surprises. I don't think we need to see that much publicity for the film, because it's already been built up like crazy. The
definitely.
Eternals is different. The Eternals needs it because one,
Mhm.
Chloe Zhao just won Best Director and for an Oscar for Nomadland, and she's directing it, so it's a very big deal that a Marvel movie has an Oscar-winning director doing it, and it looks cool. I mean, the cast is awesome. So, I mean, I was very pumped to see a little footage of the Eternals.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice. Apparently, like behind the scenes talk, like Kevin Feige adores the Eternals. Like he thinks this is going to be like the best Marvel movie yet. So hopefully he's right because yeah, just from like we didn't even get that much footage, probably like what, less than a minute,
30
but like
seconds.
yeah, 30 seconds. But just from what we've seen, it already looks so good. Can't
So
wait
good.
for a full trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Kevin Feige is like one of the masterminds behind the MCU, and obviously
Hmm.
he's done a fantastic job.
He is,
So
yeah.
if Kevin Feige is excited about it, I'm excited about it. That's pretty much all you need from me to be
But I
hyped about
also
your movie.
But I also like that these movies coming out this year, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, and Eternals are 4 completely different films with totally different feels. One's in space, one's a prequel, one's a multiverse, one is, a first Asian lead superhero. Like there's a lot of I really love the diversity of films that the Marvel has coming out in the next year or two.
For sure, for sure. And I do want to give a little timeline and include all the dates for anybody wondering.
Yeah.
So the future timeline of all the movies that have release dates that have been announced. So the next Marvel movie we have is going to be Black Widow on July 9th of this year. Then Shang-Chi on September 3rd. So both those movies over the summer, essentially. And then Eternals will be in November 5th. Spider-Man 3 No Way Home is going to be around Christmas time, December 17th. And then the rest of these movies are going to be in 2022. We have Doctor Strange 2 in March 25th, Thor 4 Love and Thunder May 6th, Wakanda Forever, the second Black Panther movie, is going to be July 8th. And then the Marvels movie, which is going to be Captain Marvel 2, but also the introduction of Miss Marvel. And that's going to be November 11th, so of
And
2022.
Guardians Volume 3.
And of course,
Yeah.
and Guardians, and then yeah, then that's when we go into some of the 2023 movies where we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which is in 2023 in February, and then Guardians Volume 3, which is in May 5th of 2023.
And then
So
they
I
have
mean, this is
Fantastic
stuff
Four.
2
They
years
have
out.
Fantastic Four and
Yeah.
Blade.
Yeah,
Blade is
and
big.
Fantastic Four is. I'll see if I can put that up on screen for everybody watching here.
And John Watts is directing that. The guy who directed the Spider-Man movies in the MCU. Is
Interesting.
directing Fantastic Four.
Yeah, so on screen right now for anybody watching this on the video version of our podcast here, this is the little logo that we've had. We've seen this before, but this was at the end of the trailer that we just got that we're talking about now. So a little tease at Fantastic Four. No set release date, no cast announced, no directors, no nothing really for Fantastic Four. But we know that it's gonna happen at some point, and this little tease of the title is just another example of another little nudge in the fact that Fantastic Four is coming.
What I want to add one thing too is that it was interesting that there's no Avengers movies, like a team up big Avengers movie. Do you guys have any thoughts on them now? Maybe they're not announcing it for a reason, or maybe they just don't have it in the plans as of now.
I mean, I'm not sure why they're not announcing it, but I'm totally fine with them not announcing it like personally. Like I think it's just time that we just need to like breathe and introduce like these new characters because if they introduce them and then immediately just like throw them into this team up movie, it's not going to be as interesting. I think if they like really take the time to introduce us to, like you said, Shang-Chi, I'm blanking on any of I mean Blade obviously in the Fantastic Four, but that's kind of further down the line. I think we just need some time to like take a break, especially after Infinity War and Endgame. We just need some solo stories, smaller, less end of the world kind of superhero movies. I think is a nice change.
Totally. In my opinion, I think they're really just trying to do their best to start bringing these characters together. Obviously, a lot of the Avengers have kind of been dismantled, either dead or out of commission now. Notably, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America. I mean, like all the Avengers are changing. So I think they're trying to figure out what that's going to be. Are they going to do the Avengers with a whole new, younger cast and just have the
Yeah.
Avengers be completely made up of young characters? Or is it going to be an Avengers team that is everybody, all the younger characters and all the newer characters, like Shuri, as soon as she replaces Black Panther, it becomes the new Black Panther, I should say, or
Yeah.
Miss Marvel in the new the Marvels film. How are they going to add these characters in? Are they going to keep Thor? And are they going to keep people like the Guardians? Are they going to be a part of the Avengers now? What is that going to look like? Is Thor going to be in his own world, or is he going to be, in a part of all the Avengers' main conflicts? I just think a lot of that is Marvel doesn't really know where they want to go. I think they have a lot of options, and I think what they're choosing to do is sit back, see how these movies and these TV shows pan out, see who
Yeah.
audiences attract to, who they like, and then kind of develop something from there. They've had plenty of Avengers and all team up and all the craziness. We've done that a ton. Now I think the audiences are completely content to just sit back and see some character growth and some character development. I'd love to see that. And I think when you get that character development, that is what
Yeah.
makes the team up movies that much better.
Totally. And I also want to bring up Captain America 4 is also in the pan too. But also, as you said, it took Marvel 4 years to make the first Avengers movie after the first Iron Man. So they made 2 Iron Man movies, Hulk, a Captain America movie, all of that before you got introduced to basically all of the characters, right? Before that film. So they are doing I think they're doing a good job because they're introducing so many new characters. Because again, the main Avengers are probably not going to be there that much. It feels like, yeah. So I like the decision of going all these solo movies, and they're going to be connective too. Like Wanda is in Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man 3. So there's still multiple superheroes in the same film, but there's not a technically Avengers film.
Absolutely. Yeah. And outside of, I do want to table the superhero discussion because I can tell Gabby is just had enough of the superhero discussion. No, but we do have some other really important news to the podcast I really wanted to jump into, and that is we got our first trailer. Finally, the wait has ended, at least partially, for Lucifer season 5B, or the second half of season 5. So we had the first, I believe, what was it, 8 episodes or so. I think that's what they did for Lucifer season 5, and the second 8 episodes they held off on. So we had the first 8 episodes this past summer, and now it's about almost a whole year later. We're getting the next 8 episodes. To finish out season 5 here. So we got our trailer, and we got a little bit of you know, insight, I guess, into what is going to be happening in this trailer. We saw at the end of the first half of Lucifer season 5 that we saw how they kind of talked about we're finally seeing God in like God's true form. I think that's what they've kind of explained to us, and he's actually a black man, which I think goes against a lot of what might be some preconceived stereotypes or notions. I mean, no one knows if God's even real or what he exists or what he looks like. But I think a lot of people stereotype him as to be white and a man. And in this, we see that he's actually black, which I think is really interesting. And of course, he's the Allstate guy from the Allstate commercials who says, we're in good hands. You're in good hands. So I just think that was just perfect.
So yeah, so it's very interesting to see, like, because we've been on the Lucifer journey for a while now, and like we know for a fact like Lucifer has daddy issues. He's complained about it. He's gone to therapy about it. It comes up in his relationships. So now we not only get to unpack the rest of his daddy issues, but he gets to go to therapy with his dad. Isn't that everyone's dream? So yeah, so that's exciting. We love Dr. Linda. And she's always anyone who comes to town, they end up in her therapy room, which is hilarious. But yeah, I'm excited to see what God has to say about Lucifer.
I love Lucifer. I'm so excited for this next season. It looks really good so far. I mean, like, Lucifer has always been really good, so I'm just looking forward to what it has in store for us.
Yeah, I definitely see some drama with Chloe, and like we got the drama with the Lucas twin, whatever. What is it? The Lucifer's twin's
Michael.
name?
Yep.
Why did they have to look identical? It's so annoying.
The detective. Chloe.
And then I guess we get to see more of what Linda's baby with what's his face?
Amenadiel.
Yeah, great name. Really rolls off the tongue. And then so then God also was like, yeah, I'm gonna retire. So I think like Lucifer's gonna like run for office to try to be God.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It looks like that's
I wonder if
definitely
that's like
coming
a
up.
democracy or like how when you're running for God, like do you have is it like in your campaign? Is there a lot of marketing with that? You know, like how many votes do you get to be God?
You know, I think nobody knows that because God has always been God, but now he wants to
I know.
retire. So I don't
God
think
Part
anyone
2.
expected that.
God the sequel. Who's he gonna
Absolutely.
banish to hell?
But if Lucifer becomes God, who's going to be the devil?
His twin. I think it should
Michael?
be his twin to be the devil. Yeah. I'm never gonna learn his name. Just make him the devil because he is acting more like the typical devil than Lucifer's. Like he's just like I just want to hang out with my girlfriend and like go to the club, play piano, and then like twins
No,
like
he definitely doesn't have his devilish qualities as much. Like
yeah.
he definitely has become more humanized, and I think that's why like he should run for God, and then like you said, have Michael be the new
Yeah.
devil, because that would be like.
And then Chloe can be like the queen of heaven. She can be Mrs. God.
Mrs. God.
Mrs. God. Oh my lord. Oh my God. I mean,
Female God.
Oh my God.
you know, I think
Technically, we're all God.
that's true. I think one of the things you touched on earlier, Lauren, that really just is really interests me for this upcoming season, or this half of the season, I should say, is the idea of just like you talked about the therapy session, but the idea of Dr. Linda, a human, sitting in giving
human.
therapy to God
To
and
God.
the devil. It's just,
I
I just
love
think the
how
premise is
she
so
does it.
ridiculous.
Her work, really, she's an impressive therapist. I kind of want to have her.
I want to be in
She's
this
the
therapy
therapist.
session. I want to
Oh
be
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, no, I think we all need Dr. Linda
you
as
will
our
be there.
therapist.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Dr. Linda's the best.
the
Can we?
emotional baggage, the emotional
Yeah.
baggage that Dr. Linda must be carrying at this point in her life
That
is
much.
absurd.
She's
She needs to
unpacking.
talk.
She is
Yes.
unpacking baggage upon baggage, like
Oh, yeah.
Russian nesting dolls of bags.
See, she needs to go to a therapist. The therapist needs to go to a therapist.
Yeah. Or she could just, play with some knives with Maze.
So
I
how
love
does that
me.
work now? When Dr. Linda is praised to God, does she just talk to him face to face? How does that work now? Like,
God, can you come in at 3? I need to talk to you. But no, God's retiring, so she's gonna pray to Lucifer.
but she slept with Lucifer, so
She
she
fucked
slept with
God.
God if he becomes God.
Sure. Bro, if Lucifer becomes God, half of LA has slept with God.
Yup. Which like it'll already kind of like mentally fuck you up to the fact that like you slept with the devil, but then
the devil's
like,
God.
and then to be like I slept with God. Can you imagine how many people would be like
My sins are repented.
I would say the religion would be such a fine line.
Well, I feel like religion isn't really like a thing that much anymore. Like a lot of people who are woke are like just like nah with the religion. I feel like like the whole. That's why we love Lucifer so much. Like I feel like you don't watch it if you actually care about religion.
You're right.
I think that's true. You know, I just think Lucifer does such a good job of taking someone like obviously the devil. Everybody sees as he's unanimous. If anybody in the world is evil, it's the devil, right? Like,
Yeah.
and they've turned this character into one of the most sympathetic characters on the show. I think the audience feels for him the most. Feels for somebody who might be, feels out of place, feels like they don't necessarily belong, feels a little bit different. Also struggles with identity. I think a lot of people struggle with identity, and I think that's really accurately portrayed in Lucifer's
We
character.
are all Lucifer.
In a way, yeah, and I think that's just a very interesting how they've been able to take this character and kind of turn him into something that everyone seems to unanimously root for.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, it's
definitely
definitely
very
like
interesting.
great commentary on like an interesting take on the whole like devil angel thing and like because we've seen it done a million times in shows and movies, but this is definitely like a very unique standout. Like no like who makes the devil the main character and they're the protagonist and they have a whole character arc and like they like unpack all of their trauma right before your very eyes.
That is true. That's true. I think the show just does such a good job at showing all those things and just it makes it that much more depressing that this is the final season of Lucifer and the creators that came out
Yeah.
and said a million times we're not doing another one no matter what. So it's over. It's done with, and I couldn't
What's
be
the
more sad.
actor gonna do? Who plays Lucifer?
Oh, Tom Ellis.
Can you get him another job so we can watch him
He
do
needs to be in the
things?
MCU.
What do we want him to do?
Oh.
Wait, how about him and Loki like team up and they like play chess?
That's all they do is play chess.
But like they're like betting on like entire worlds and like
I
destroying.
was like, yeah, what if they play like chess for like in real life? Like,
Yeah.
and, like their humans
It's
are
the
the
Queen's
pawns.
Gambit.
Yeah, humans are their pawns.
Yeah. In Harry Potter where they're playing giant chess.
I don't know what.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know that scene
Yeah.
you're talking about where they're like sitting on top and they're like directing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
and they move the whole pieces around. Bro, that you just brought me back to my childhood right there. I haven't thought
Yeah.
about that in like 15 years.
I want to play giant chess.
Dude, legendary. Legendary iconic moment from
Only
Harry Potter.
$800 if you want to buy a giant chess set. I think Temple should buy it, and they should have it on camera. Anyway, back to Lucifer. Great show. Can't wait for it to come out. Really excited. What else did we say about it? Oh
No, I
yeah,
mean,
giant chess.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we've covered all our bases on Lucifer. And I know I do want to give the floor to Max and Carter for a minute to do the Mitchells versus the Machines review. Lauren, I know you have something coming up in a few minutes. Do you need to head out
Yeah, I
now?
might disappear at some point. Do not fret. It's not superpowers.
Okay, of course, no problem. But yeah, Max, Carter, go ahead and take it
Yeah.
away.
So I'll say the plot, and then I'll let Carter go. Then I'll go. So the plot of the movie is so it's an animated film. It was supposed to be coming out only in theaters. Before the pandemic, I was seeing trailers of this film in theaters. So during the pandemic, it was picked up by Netflix, and it came out this past Friday. So it's an animated film about this family, the Mitchells. Their main character is a girl named Katie, who is a a film major in college. She's 18 years old. She's making mini films, short films, I guess, her entire life. But her family, her community isn't really supportive of her. But she's finally going to a college, the best film school, and instead of flying there, she has an off leash with her family. Her family takes a road trip to the college, but while this is going on, they're in the middle of a robot technology like apocalypse kidnapping humans. So it's about that family. So Carter, let me know your thoughts first.
The whole time I was watching this movie, the like main thing in my mind was that, and it's funny because this is also Sony Pictures Animation, is that
Yeah.
this is the movie about the internet that the Emoji Movie tried so hard to be. Like, if you are nostalgic for like mid like 2000s to like mid 2010s internet, this is like the perfect movie for you. There's just so many different like little references and like Easter eggs thrown in there. The voice cast is incredible.
Yeah.
I know Eric Andre was in it, Maya Rudolph. There were a lot of SNL alums. If you're a Saturday Night
Bennett.
Live fan, yeah, Beck Bennett, Fred Armisen. Very
Wow.
well written, produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. You can't go wrong with them. The animation was really similar to Into the Spider-Verse, which I'm a huge fan of. That blend of like 2D and 3D. It's a beautifully animated movie. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, and to go with your Lord and Miller comparison, I actually got a lot of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball vibes, which was their first directorial film. If good vibes of that, but the film, while yes, the plot could seem familiar, or the robot apocalypse is ridiculous enough, the film has so much heart to it with this father-daughter relationship between Katie, who is voiced by A.B. Jacobson, and the dad is voiced by Danny McBride. They have a really great relationship. The fact that they're total opposites. She's a film major who wants to make films, but he is literally the opposite. He's not familiar with technology at all. He has no idea what he's doing, and he doesn't see the promise of it. He keeps forcing her to have a plan B in life, even though she literally lives and breathes film. And I think that the film is really, really good. It's definitely my favorite movie of the year so far this year. I didn't cry or anything, but it was very touching. The last 15, 20, 30 minutes of the film, once they get to that big action set piece at the end, it's really emotional because you really feel the family come together. They each get their own little part of it. But I really love this movie. Netflix has made some great films in the past, like Klaus, which was nominated. Over the Moon was nominated last year for animated. They make some really great animated films. And for me, this is number one. I felt it was very authentic. It's a kids movie, but for a kids movie, has a lot of mature themes about being 18, going to college. Do you forget about your family when you go to college, or do you take what you had with your family with you to college and stay connected? And even with the technology part, which Carter brought up, it doesn't force feed you with the technology. It doesn't say technology's great or technology's bad. It shows the positives and negatives with it. The fact that she can connect with her friends, her film friends, through the phone, but also the family is pretty consumed by technology.
Mhm.
So I think that the balance of how good technology is and how bad it is a great balance. And I do love this film. Everyone should check it out. It's like an hour 50. It's on Netflix. It's an early front runner for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars next year. So if you want to get a head start, Luca is coming out in June. This for me is going to be really tough to beat. It's a very uniquely animated film and a real authentic story. So definitely, guys, check this one out on Netflix.
For sure. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, that was perfect.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap up the episode here. So, thank you all for watching. It's been a great episode of the Movie Mafia podcast. Again, I'm so excited to have Carter here as a full-time member of the Movie Mafia. And we cannot wait. Absolutely, man. We cannot wait to have more episodes of everyone together. All right, guys.
Stoked.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode, all right? Peace.